And I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 5 English lesson on context clues. So we're doing our grade 5 English lesson on context clues. And before we start with our lesson on context clues, we're going to log into aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged into aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts, grade 5. Once you have selected grade 5, you're going to scroll down up until you get to the chapter of context clues. So we are doing our grade 5 English lesson on context clues. So our chapter for today is context clues. Our subject is English language arts, grade 5. And the lessons that we are going to be focusing on today under the chapter of context clues is to find the words using context and to determine the meaning of words using synonyms in context. So it is to determine, so firstly to find words using context and also to determine the meaning of words using synonyms in context. So that is going to be our lessons that we are going to be focusing on under our chapter Context Clues, grade 5. Yes, this is only grade 5 class. But this is basically like a combination of 5 and 6. All right, so when it comes to context clues, hey, if you don't know the meaning of a word, you can always look for context clues. It's like looking for context or certain things within your sentence that will give you an idea as to what you think the meaning is of that specific word. Context clues are nearby words and phrases that help you to figure out the meaning of an unknown word. So, once again, if you don't know the meaning of a specific word, you can always look for context clues, right? It's like looking for context within a sentence. And context clues are nearby words and phrases that help you to figure out the meaning of that unknown word. And that is the word that you do not know the meaning of. And if we look at a few examples, right, under context clues, Janet's dog punctured her ball with his teeth, causing it to go flat. So Janet's dog punctured her ball with his teeth, causing it to go flat. So Janet's dog punctured her ball with his teeth, causing it to go flat, right? Which means that if we look at the word punctured, if we look at the word punctured, and yeah, they're saying causing it to go flat, right? Then it means that we know, or we can at least assume, or we can guess that the word puncture means to make a hole, because if there's no hole, then it won't go flat, which means that if there's a hole, then it will cause the the ball to go flat. She had a map, so she offered to be the trip's navigator. So she had a map, so she offered to be the trip's navigator. So she had a map, so she offered to be the trip's navigator. So the person usually with the map, they need to show directions. So we see that she had a map, so she offered to be the trip's navigator, right? And a navigator is basically the someone or something that gives directions, right? And the guard closely monitored the building. He was on the lookout for anything that seemed out of place. So when it comes to that sentence that says the guard closely monitored the building, he was on the lookout for anything that seemed out of place. So you can guess that monitored means watched. So if somebody says guard closely, and then it means to watch, right? So that means that they guess it is monitored by watching. So also when it comes to context clues, right? Another the lesson is to determine the meaning of the words using synonyms within context, right? So synonyms are words that mean the same thing or almost the same thing. And when you see words that you don't know, you can use synonyms as context clues to help figure out the new words' meaning. So synonyms are words that means the same thing or similar to same things. And when you see words you don't know, you can use synonyms as context clues to help figure out the new word, the word's meaning. Another one says Tracy Austin was crowned champion of the US Women's Open in 1979. At 16 years old, she was the youngest ever winner of the event. So we said Tracy Austin was crowned champion of the US Women's in 1979, and at 16 years old, she was the youngest ever first of the Emily first of the event. And if you look at the word champion, right? We can champion basically if they're talking about winning, right? Youngest ever winner of the event, then it clearly means that champion means that someone who helped, someone who is placed in first within the contest. So you're placed first in the contest. Right? So we said that we are also doing our lesson on A plus students.ca. So now let's go to A plus students.ca. So we need to find words using the context, right? So we're going into that one first. Find words using context. So if you don't know the meaning of a word, right, you can always look for context clues. And context clues are nearby words and phrases that will help you to figure out the meaning of an unknown word. And that is basically the words that you don't know the meaning of, right? And then we made a few examples. So now, if we look at our first sentence, right, it says select the word that means deal with. The, the Taj Mahal amazing building in India. The Taj Mahal is an amazing building in India. Sadly, air pollution has caused the white marble walls of the building to turn yellow. The tackle to tackle the problem, workers once used chemicals to clean the marble. Today, however, workers remove the yellowish with clay since it doesn't damage the marble. So if we now look at this word, to select the word that means deal with, right? So we need to find a word that means deal with. So the word deal with, so deal with, they say select the word that means deal with. I think it can basically mean to tackle. Yes. So deal with, we can then say it is to tackle something. So deal with is to tackle. And as you can see, the question was to select the word that means deal with, right? And then all we had to do was try and find a specific word that probably means. So we said tackle means to deal with, right? So also we need to select the word that means medicine or that means treatment. And the context is taking vitamin C is a popular remedy for the common colds. So we need to select the word that means either medicine or treatment. It says taking vitamin C is a popular remedy for the common cold. But does it really work? Studies show that vitamin C won't prevent someone from getting a cold. It might, however, shorten the length of a cold. So if we select the words, it means either medicine or treatment. And then we can say taking vitamin C because that is a popular remedy. So taking vitamin C is a popular remedy for the common colds. But does it really work? So if we look at the word vitamin C, right, it says we need to select the word that either means medicine or treatment, right? And I think vitamin C is either a form of a medicine plus a treatment. So taking vitamin C. So vitamin C is the same as saying it is either medicine or it is like a form of a treatment, right? Because it's treating the common cold. And like they say, it does not remove the common cold, but it just shortens the length of how long you have the cold, right? Oh, so even if we look at the word remedy, yes, it's a popular remedy for the common cold. And remedy either means medicine or remedy then means it's a form of treatment, right? So glad we picked that up. So we need to select the word that means, okay, no, we already did that. And we said it is medicine. So now we need to select the word that means judgment against someone. So judgment against someone. So First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt was a leader in her own right. She took positions that were not popular, so she often received serious criticism. She said she had to develop skin as tough as rhinoceros hide to keep going. So, First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt was a leader in her own right, and she took positions that were not popular, so she often received serious criticism by her friends. Serious criticism, sorry. She said she had to develop skin as tough as rhinoceros hide to keep going. So if we were to look at the word judgment against someone, I think judgment against someone is criticism. So judgment, I think it is to do with criticism. All right. So judgment against someone, right? We said it is criticism. Yes, so criticism is like critic, right? A critique. So sometimes people can critique you in a negative way or in a positive way, right? And that almost like shows a form of judgment. Right? So if we look at the sentence, right, where we chose criticism, because like we say, criticism is where you, for example, maybe say something and then the critic is either in a negative or in a positive way, mainly negative, right? So which means that the people or the person finds it to be some form of judgment against them, right? So criticism is correct. All right, let's do the test, right? So we're gonna have to find words that is using context. We need to select the word that means easily spread to others. So something that is easily spread to others. So we need to select that easily spread to others. We need to select this from the the word specifically from the text. When one person yawns, chances are that the people around that person will yawn also. In fact, almost half of adults yawn when they see someone else yawn. Even though many people experience this, scientists don't know why yawning is contagious. So if we look at this word, right, easily spread to others. Easily spread to others, is it contagious or is it experiences? So if something is spread to others, right, does it mean it's contagious or does it just mean experiences? And if we were to select spread to others, then we would select contagious. Because something that is contagious, it spreads to others. So contagious is correct. Yes, so well done. Contagious. Number one, it is correct. We need to select the word that means judgment against someone. So, First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt was a leader in her own right. She took positions that were not popular, so she often received serious criticism. So, if we look at the so she received serious criticism and she said she had to develop skin as tough as a rhinoceros hide to keep going. So the word that means judgment against someone, is it criticism or a leader? Does leaders or do leaders judge, or is judgment against others criticism? All right, and if we select the correct one, we will choose criticism because critic and basically giving your opinion or your idea on somebody or something, it's a form of judgment depending on how it is being said. So we said criticism. All right, so well done. Number one is correct. We need to select the word that means to deal with. The Taj Mahal is an amazing building in India. Sadly, air pollution has caused the white marble walls of the building to turn yellow. To tackle this problem, workers once used chemicals to clean the marble. Today, however, workers remove the yellowing with clay since it doesn't damage the marble. So now we need to select from Mhm. Is it to tackle, which means that to deal with, or damage means to deal with? What does it mean to deal with? We need to choose a word. So if we look at it says we need to select the word that means deal with. So tackle once, number one, or to damage. All right. So basically, to select the word that means deal with, it is to tackle. To deal with is to tackle. So well done. We need to select the word that means able to be trusted. So able to be trusted, right? When searching to visit more than one website. Sites published by experts or universities are usually reliable, but the websites of most organizations may not tell the whole story. It pays to double check your sources. So, if we look at the words able to trust, is able to trust reliable or is able to trust certain? So if somebody or something is, or let's say somebody, you're able to trust somebody, then it means that that is a reliable person. So we'll say it's reliable. So if you're able to trust somebody, it means that that person is reliable. You're able to trust that person. You can count on that person, right? Select the word that means separated from other things or people. The Galapagos Islands are extremely isolated. They lie more than 600 miles away from the coast of South America. That's why animals such as giant tortoise and land iguanas developed there. So, what does it mean when they say separated from other things or people? Is it when you are isolated or when you are away? Separated from other things or people. Is it isolated or away? So, the word that means separated from other things or people. If we look at a word that means separated from other things or people, then we can say isolated. Because isolated is also a word that basically means that you are being separated from other people or things, right? It's like you're kept away. All right, so number one is correct. So that is basically us finding words using the context. So now we're going to determine the meaning of words using synonyms in context. And remember, a synonym is a word with either the same meaning or similar meaning to the other word, right? So synonyms are words that means the same thing or almost the same things, right? It's like two different words. And when you see words you don't know, you can use synonyms as context clues to help figure out the new words' meaning. For example, Tracy Austin was crowned champion of the US Women's Open in 1979. And at 16 years old, she was the she was the youngest ever winner of the event. So they say Tracy Austin was crowned the champion, right? And when it comes to somebody being crowned the champion, right? The champion, it means that somebody is either a winner, it means that you came first, right? You beat others, right? You're basically placed in the very first position within the context, right? In the contest. So that is basically what a champion means. So in this case, it is basically us determining the meaning of certain words based on the synonyms of certain words, right? So even here, we need to select the synonym that helps you understand the meaning of the word tedious. So tedious. So we need to help and understand the meaning of the word tedious. And basically the meaning of the word tedious, right? It's like tedious is it's like it's too long, it's tiresome, or we can even say it is too dull, right? Which means that the meaning of tedious can either be dull or we can say it is too long, right? And that is how we understand the meaning. It's like you need to basically find the specific meaning based on the synonym. So tedious meaning dull or too long. We need to select the synonym that helps you understand the meaning of the word recital. And if you look at the word recital, right, it's like you need to ask yourself, where have I heard the word or heard about the word recital? And usually recitals is when they are doing plays or when somebody is performing, right? So that is why we would say that recital is more like a form of a performance. It's like you are performing something, you are reciting something, right? And that can mean recital. And if we look at the word postpone, right? It says select a synonym that helps you understand the meaning of the word postponed. If you're postponing something, right? It's like you're making plans and now you need to postpone something. Postpone is basically just you prolonging something. It's like saying, I'm going to delay something up until you can either postpone it for a day, postpone it for a few hours, 2 days, depending, right? Sometimes people postpone their birthday parties, and sometimes it's a delay because of finances or because of the amount of people that won't be able to make it, right? So it's basically a delay in when something is going to happen. And that is basically what postponing means. All right, so now we're going to begin the test. We need to select the synonym that helps you understand the meaning of the word postpone. So, postpone, does it mean delay, early, or quick? Postpone, does it mean delay, early, or quick? So, what is the meaning of the word postpone? Is it to delay? Is it early or quick? All right, so if we look at the meaning of the word postpone, then we can say it is basically to delay, right? Delayed for a couple of hours, delayed for a day, 2 days, a week. We need to find the synonym that helps you understand the meaning of the word recital. Is recital a performance? Is it a dance? Or is it a speech? So, recital. Is recital performance? Is recital dance? Or is recital a speech? Is recital performance, dance, or speech? All right, so if we look at the word recital, right? Remember we said that recital, it's like where somebody is either performing, it's a form of performance, right? Where somebody is doing something on stage, right? So we can maybe say it is a performance because they are performing, they're reciting something, right? So performance is a recital. And lastly, let's select the synonym that helps you understand the meaning of the word tedious. And is tedious hard? Is it dull? Or is it slow? Tedious. Remember, we say that tedious can either be too long, it can either be tiresome, monotonous, which is boring, or it can be dull. So, tedious. And if we want to select the word tedious or the synonym that helps us understand the meaning of the word tedious, we would say it is dull, right? Because it's dull, it is monotonous, it's boring, right? And that is basically what tedious means. All right, so that is now the end of our lesson on context clues, right? And context clues, it is basically where certain words either stand out, right? And we'll be able to either um, find like the meaning of what the word is based on certain words that stands out, right? Or we'll be able to determine the meaning of a word using synonyms within a context. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining our class, and I really hope you're going to have an amazing weekend further. Goodbye.